All right, third grade, welcome to art day 2. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be painting in the donut part, and then we're going to just start on one part of our background, and then we'd probably be all done for the day, and then we'll finish this up tomorrow. So what I'm looking for when we're painting is that we need to hold our brush with control, and you're going to hold a paintbrush just like you hold a pencil, and we never hold it below the metal part. Okay, that's where your fingers are going to get all messy. So you kind of hold it almost in the middle of the brush. This is less control, and when you hold it a little bit farther down, you have a little bit more control. Now, if you do not have watercolor paints at home at the moment, what you can do is get a piece of tin foil, and you can color on the tin foil with washable marker. It can't be permanent, it has to be washable marker. And you can then get a water cup and a brush, and it acts just like watercolor. So you would lay out your tin foil, draw, let's say, the red color over on this side, get your brush wet and paint on the red, and then you can paint on your paper, which is kind of a cool little trick if you didn't know that. These are watercolor sets, and like I said, you will be getting an art kit very soon that has pretty much the same exact supplies I have here at school. So that should be coming soon. With watercolor sets, it's important that we don't mix the colors. Like we don't want red in the yellow or yellow in the purple. It just really gets our things messy, and then they don't work as nice, or the colors aren't as bright as you would like them to be. So when we're painting today, I'm looking for us to be in control of our brush, and I just really want you to focus on the donut today. That's kind of the main thing, and then we'll probably move on to the background later. So when you're picking colors for your donut, I would like you to think of a color that would be a realistic color for the donut. So maybe not a purple or green donut. That would probably be a donut I wouldn't want to eat. You can, think about chocolate, or, just a plain vanilla donut. So those would be kind of your two options here. The frosting would be up to you. Black is normally a color I don't use ever with watercolor. It just kind of muddies things up. And so I already did this pink line yesterday, so I think I'm gonna stick with probably a red color. So it's up to you what you want to get started with, but I'm gonna get started on this part of the donut because that's gonna probably take me the longest. So I'm gonna dip my brush in water, and this is the brown over here, so I'm gonna just get a little bit of water in here. You do not want a huge pool of water in your watercolors. It can damage it. So I'm just gonna kind of get this wet, and I'm gonna start to outline my shape. I'm gonna get a little bit more water, and I'm just pressing really gently. Now, watercolor is going to be translucent. The water is in the name, so it's not going to be a nice, thick, dark paint like a tempera paint. You will be able to see some of the original paper showing through, and that's perfectly fine. That's exactly what should be happening. So I've outlined my shape, and now I'm going to start to fill it in. I kind of talk about this with markers or coloring things in as well. That's how I would like you to paint. It shows me that you have control over the materials that we're using. And if your paint ever gets really dry and scratchy like this, you just need to add some more water. So I am done with my donut color part. So now I'm gonna move on to the frosting. Now I was in brown, and so I really wanna wash my brush off pretty good because I do not want the brown to get into the next color that I'm gonna use. Now there's one thing about the oil pastel or crayon that you use that's really important and why I asked you to use those materials. So oil pastel and crayon have wax inside of them. And so what it does when you paint over it with a water-based paint is it creates what's called a resist. Now hopefully most of you have done that before, either in kindergarten, first grade, or second grade. It's a common way to paint and a common way to create artwork. But it does shine through. Because of that wax, the water doesn't sit on there and it rolls right off back onto your paper. So what I'm going to do now is I think we're going to start with the background tomorrow. So hopefully you took your time and you really did a good job on your donut today, and we'll come back tomorrow and we will finish up our donut.